up to you. So I'm free in the evening. Yes. I don't have a classes in the evening.
Miss
No.
8 a.m. is kind is could you free at 9 p.m.
Okay.
from 5 to 9? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, our range is much easier. It's the range. Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll do some preparation for the
Actually,
schedule.
yes, you can arrange from 6 or 5:40. Yeah. So as usual, we have a class of from 5:50. Okay, 5:50 to 9 p.m. So as the evening class, so some students can have some classes start from 6 to 9. Yeah, because in the evening we just study for 3 hours. Yes, 6 to 9. That will be fine, Quý Anh.
6 to 9.
Yeah,
Yeah, miss.
6 to
Yeah, yeah.
9 because of 5 still early for people. Yeah, so I am free. Yes, but I'm afraid that some students can't because they have other work. Yes, other things to do. Like you can cook. You have to cook for your family.
Miss,
Yeah.
how about someday that is close to that holiday? It's like um, um,
It's up to you. So you just arrange with your friend, with your classmate, and then advise me. Okay.
how about some kind of 29, 30, and 31? It's like it's really close to
Tết.
Của
the Tet
anh, của
holiday.
anh.
Yeah.
31, 31st is the New Year's Eve, so
Oh
it's
yeah.
impossible,
So
right?
impossible for people. Yes.
But I think that if we choose the evening, we can choose the weekday instead of the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means next
Because
week you can choose. It's up to
24 to
you.
29. Yeah.
Mọi người, em hỏi tí xíu là thầy tính là tuần sau mình kết thúc đúng không? Vậy thì tuần sau nữa ngày 29 tháng 1 sáng thứ bảy á, mình học đề đó được không mọi người?
29 tháng 7 là tức là gần Tết rồi đấy em. 27 Tết.
29 tháng 1, 29 tháng 1 có sáng thứ bảy.
29 tháng 1 là ngày 27 Tết rồi. Chờ
Dạ.
các bạn còn đi chợ đi
Nhưng mà buổi sáng cô, buổi sáng vẫn
busy.
ổn.
Buổi sáng thứ bảy á.
Hết tuần sau á cô. Hết tuần sau là mấy thầy cô giáo được nghỉ Tết hết rồi, mình học khoảng ngày 24 được không cô?
Cô
Cái tuần
ok,
này
đấy
mọi
là
người nghỉ hết mà.
thì đó cô đang nói là ngày 23 trở đi là tất
Dạ,
cả
đúng
giáo
rồi
viên
cô.
đều được nghỉ hết
Vậy
rồi.
24 mình học buổi tối nha mọi người. Vậy được á.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28
24
là
học
cái
mình
phần
học buổi
đó là
tối đi
giáo
mọi
viên được
người.
nghỉ.
Dạ, nói
Tại
chung là
24
học
cũng
qua
nghỉ rồi.
24 là em học được á cô, còn giờ
Cũng
trong
được á.
trường thì chưa có được.
Đúng
Tại
rồi,
mình
giáo viên
24
là
mình
có
ôn bài.
giáo viên thì ok, nhưng mà cô sợ các bạn khác mà cô đi làm công sở đó là các bạn không thể nào mà được nghỉ trước ngày 29.
Nói
Dạ,
chung
đúng
là
rồi.
cỡ 24, 25, 26 gì đó mọi người. Tại lúc đó mình cũng nghỉ rồi thì mình học ban đêm mọi người ha.
Tùy các bạn nha.
Dạ, ban đêm chắc khoảng từ 6 giờ đến 9 giờ thôi.
Đúng rồi, ý là quan trọng là mình có thời gian mình ôn thi á, mình ôn tập để mình kiểm tra.
Nha. Chắc là cái call trên lớp thì các bạn nào rảnh cái buổi nào buổi tối nào.
Ok
Rồi
ok.
thôi các bạn arrange với nhau nhá. Rồi advise me. Làm thế nào để tất cả các bạn có thể tham gia được không? Bữa đó là thưa cô em không tham gia được mà cô cho làm hay là cô test ra các thứ thì không được. Chúng ta chỉ còn lớp mà còn hết hôm nay là còn 3 buổi nữa. 3 buổi.
Dạ,
Hả?
Mình còn bao nhiêu buổi nữa mấy?
3 buổi nữa em.
Dạ.
Cái hôm trước cô nghỉ 2 buổi và tuần tới thay vì là có cái buổi ngày 22 thì cô bận rồi. 23 chứ quên. Ngày 23 là cô bận. Cho nên là nghỉ cái buổi đó. Chứ không là chỉ còn 2 buổi nữa thôi. Rồi ha. Ok, go on. Yeah, so we talk about the implications. Yeah, so implications section should state why the research is relevant and specific to your area of interest, as well as the implication for future research in this topic area. You know, like this one, you write about significance of your study. You understand? Significance of your study. Why? Yes. Yes, why the research is relevant and specific to your area of interest and the implication for future research in this topic area. So after chapter two, yes. So now something you need to do, yeah, to see if your chapter is well written and relevant or not. So we call evaluating chapter two. So chapter two normally in your thesis. So chapter one is the introduction. So I will give you the template for this one. So evaluating chapter two, yeah. So chapter two is the literature review, and chapter three is about methodology, and chapter four is the findings. Yes, and some people can merge findings and discussion in one. Yeah, so that is chapter four. So you may have, if it's a long, then you can divide into two chapters. So chapter five is the findings, and four is the findings, and chapter five is the discussion, and then you can combine with conclusion. Okay, or you have a chapter four as findings and discussion, finding discussion, and then chapter five is the conclusion. Okay, it depends on your study. So normally we have a five chapters in introduction, literature review, methodology, findings and discussion, and conclusion, and then references, and then appendix. So that's the structure of your thesis. Yeah, so evaluating chapter two. Yes. So you ask of some questions to check. Yeah. So does the introduction clearly explain the purpose of the chapter? So before you write, yeah. So you have a part. Yes, I mean that a paragraph or to introduce the purpose of the chapter two. In this chapter, I'm going to write. I will, whatever. Okay. Yes, is there a theoretical rationale for the chapter topic? How significant is the topic? Is the review of the literature relevant? So this is very important questions. Yes. So because when you write, when you review the research articles, you have to ask yourself the question. So I have two questions: what and why. Okay, so what you are reading, what am I reading now, and why am I reading this? Yes, how related, what am I reading to my research? You have to ask these questions. So this question is very important because sometimes we read your work and we identify that you write about something that is irrelevant to your study, irrelevant to the purpose, irrelevant to the research questions that you ask. So this one is very important. Yes. And sometimes, if you read the whole paper, research paper, but you can't pick out many ideas. Sometimes just an idea, yeah, an idea from the research article for your study, not many. Yes, so it means that. And before I told you how you read a research article already. Yeah, so first of all you look at what, how can you find the relevant article to your study, and how you are how you read. Yes,
Read the
how you read the
abstracts
research
first.
have to read
article.
the
Or in
reference.
Yeah, so just say it loudly. What?
Yeah, uh, I will read the reference list first to
Mhm.
find other relevant articles.
Yeah, so that's what yeah, so you can find the relevant articles. Yeah, relevant, you can find the article of relevant research, yes, of relevant research in the reference list. But when you read a research article, you start from the title, okay? Sometimes titles can tell you something about the topic, but sometimes people do not give the title or names the research article with a very direct statement, not very direct, so you can implied what from the title of the article. So then you have to read further in the article. But first of all, you look at the what? Very short one.
The abstract.
The abstract, that's right. So look at the abstract. So what the abstracts tell you, I give you some example when we analyze the abstracts already. So what can you find? What can you find? What can you note if the article relevant to you or not? Then you read the abstracts. So the abstracts tell you what?
We tell the
Keywords, right, Miss?
yeah, the
So
keywords.
keywords, so you can have some maximum 5 keywords. Yeah, so maximum 5 keywords there. Yeah, so you can look at the keywords. Yeah, what else? In the abstract, I mean that in the
Yeah,
abstract
In the abstract,
the
I think that the researcher include the aim of it. This,
article.
yeah,
Yeah, what else?
the discussion, the
Method.
finding.
The findings. Yes, the
Findings.
findings, the result.
Yeah,
The
Yes.
result of the study. And what else?
and some evaluations that included in the research.
Okay, the evaluation included in the research. So you can find out, you can know about the methodology. Yeah. Yeah. So some implication, Phượng. Yes. Yeah. Implications of the study to the field. So if you teach, then you see that the implications comes from the findings. So what the researchers, yes, uh, include in his study, yes, and there you will find some implications, conclusions and implications
Ôi trời ơi.
to the teaching. Okay, yeah, so you can find, you can note about the aims of the study, the research method. Okay, so that means the method the researchers use in this study. Yeah, sometimes you may know that the participants, how many participants, yes, and the kind of participants as well. So students, teachers, or employees. Yes, yeah. Sometimes you may interview other people outside of your field. Yes, like the parents of the students. Yeah, so, and then I mean that the research size, yes, the sample size, sorry, the sample size and research methodology, yes. So how the data were collected and analyzed and the findings of the study, yes, and the implications. So that means just look at the abstract, yes. So when you read an article, start from the abstract, yes, and then you may look at the what else. To save your time, you need to know how to read, yes.
I think we can look at the research questions of the article.
research questions of the article. Yeah, so that's maybe in the introduction. Yeah, because in the article, yeah, so in the introduction, the researchers can state the aim, and then the research questions there. Yes, but sometimes they don't have the questions. No, no research questions. Sometimes I mean that some in some article, yes, but you can see that the aims of the study. Yeah, the aims of the study in this paper. Yeah, so that means in this paper we are going to look at what and what. Yeah, so that's just state the aims of the article. Yeah, and where else?
Yeah, I think that it would be uh, the results and the implication.
The result, yes, of course. So if you see from the abstracts that the article is relevant to your study, then you need to read further, okay, and detailed in the article. Yes, of course, you have to understand. You have to know about the findings. Yeah, findings of the researcher in this study. Yes, and the conclusions and the implications of the researchers in this paper. Right. So actually, you need to sometimes you can read the abstracts and the conclusion. Yeah, and so that means you can because in the conclusion the researchers also summarize the main findings, yes, of the study. So you look at the conclusions and then the implications as well. Okay, so look at the abstracts. So sorry. Alo, rồi cô đây. Alo. Tự dưng gọi cô xong mà cô ơi. Yeah, so look at the abstracts and the conclusion to see if the research article relevant to your field or not, and you can find out. Yeah. What? Alo? À hả? Ừ rồi, có gì không em? Em ở đâu? Rồi hôm qua nhắn tin cho cô rồi phải không? Thái An là cái lớp mà là bạn làm bài chỉ có ở bài 1 bài không có bài 2 phải không? Rồi cô đã nhắn tin là cô react với tin nhắn của bạn rồi. Dạ để cô xem nhá. Tức lý do tại sao hôm đó không đi kiểm tra? Không có trong group lớp cho nên không nhận được tin nhắn. Ôi vậy hả? Rồi để cô xem xét bài của bạn nhé. Tại vì cô chỉ lấy điểm có cái bài đó thôi cho nên là để cô xem xét. Hôm đó có 2 bạn với bạn Quân. Rồi có 2 bạn nghỉ vắng cái bài kiểm tra đó, nhưng để cô xem xét 2 bạn nhé. Rồi vậy ha. Ok. Sorry. Yeah, so now let's move. Yeah, so this question, so I mean that this question is very important when you read, when you find the research article. So don't waste your time. Yeah, don't waste your time and focus on the area of your study. Yes. So find the relevant literature and write the relevant review to your study. And next one, And then you can ask next question. Does the literature review include the classic studies pertaining to the topic? So classic studies and updated or recent, yes, so updated studies. So classics, it means that the old one, but like uh, the very important ones in the field, in the topic, yes. So you have to know. So last time I asked you the question, how do you know that the researchers is important in the field? So you can see that many people, many researchers mentioned about the researcher, and they quote, quote or citation, have a lot of citations of his or her study. So that means that he or she is very important in the field. Yes. Maybe he or she start a new approach, yes, of study or of teaching and so on. So then he or she becomes the very famous one in the field. And does the literature review include the most recent findings on the topic? Yes. So actually, we required the students to find the articles or studies related to your field within the 5 years. So does Mr. Tin ask you to do that? So within the 5 years, so that means up to, from 2015 up to now. Yes. Yeah. So that means the recent. Yeah. So from 2015, that's you have to include in your study. And are the conclusions presented clearly? And do the research article support the conclusions? Okay, so that means, of course, in conclusion, you summarize the key point presented in your body part, in your body section. Yes. Okay, in the conclusion. So that's several questions. So 7 questions. Okay, so now let's go on. So when you write, you have to see reviews your chapter, and then you see, so use this question to check if you have a good writing for your literature review or not. Yes, by asking these questions. And next one, yeah. So okay, so this one from the previous one. So and in the previous chapter, yes, that's APA 7. I talked to you the previous week. So we know how to write the citation. So this is the in-text citation. You know how you do like this one. So you can write here. This is the why do I put a lot of writer? Why do I put a lot of researchers? A lot of names here. Đây. Can you see the paragraph here?
Yeah, I think that
Yes, yes.
yeah, I think that because they have the same opinion about this problem, so you just group them together.
Yes, not yeah, they have the same opinion, sometimes similar. Yes, that's right. Because here you have to synthesize, yes, the literature review. Yeah, you do not write separately from one researcher to another, okay, to other ones, to another one. So you have to summarize, yes, and then you have to group, okay. So I'm going to show you the grid later. So let me see if okay, I'm opening. Yeah, so that means that you have to group the ideas, yeah, from the researchers, and put it and write it under the theme. Yeah, so that means here this is a talk, that is the theme. Yeah, experiential learning. Yes, and then you have a paragraph, and the first sentence is the statement of the theme, the general ideas, and from the researchers. So here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 researchers, because they share the same opinions. They may not say it exactly the same, but you can read and you can figure out, yeah, understand or interpret from their statement or their ideas, that it has similar ideas. And then you are going to group the ideas from researchers and put it like this one. Yes. So the workplace is commonly used as a setting for acquiring vocational knowledge. Okay, and then these people share the same internship, field experience, practicum, all relate to this one, experiential learning. So field experience, practicum, or workplace learning, you know. Yes, name chosen to describe the experience considered by many to be an integral component of the curriculum for hospitality students. So these researchers share the same opinion. Okay, and the other one. So here 1 and 2, yeah, so experiential learning can demonstrate that theories reflect this one, and this one side from 2 researcher. So here you put like this one. So, and here you can see that it's changed to color. Why is changed to this color? Have anyone practiced tried a note that I introduced last time? Anyone? Có bạn nào đã thử cái EndNote mà cô giới thiệu rồi trước chưa?
Dạ chưa.
I did it.
Not yet. Okay, so if you try, then you write, and you have a library. You have all the research articles that you read, and you put in a folder, in a file, using EndNote. So it will become your library. So whenever you want to uh, to uh, to put the citation, so you have the ideas. Of course, you have to like the paper, you write all the ideas here, so that you remember where you take the ideas from. So if you take from Lee, then you put it in here, so that you can cite correctly. So Lee says that, and Power says that, and she say that, Jill and Law says that. So that you have the grid like this one. So then you are going to cite their names here. And if you have the end note, you just put Lee, and then it comes here. Okay, and then Power, it comes here. So you just enter from your library, and you just enter the name, and it comes like this for you, and you don't have to type. That's the way EndNote help you. Yes.
Cô là khi mà mình có một cái thư viện sẵn như vậy á, thì khi mình chỉ cần gõ một cái tên của tác giả ra thôi thì nó sẽ
Yes.
nó sẽ
click.
ra cái tác phẩm đó luôn.
Yeah, you just click, and then it comes to this one. It comes like this one. So this is I use EndNote. Yes, and whenever if you want to read, and you just control and you read the website. Yes, and you just press the button here and click, and it comes to your library. Yeah. So if I want to check if you have this one in the reference, so I just click here. You send me a file, and then I just click here, and then I can see that you listed in the reference list or not. You see, so that's very convenient. Yeah, just learn and use it. Okay, so next one, experiential learning can demonstrate. So here, and here you can see that I code few words. So I have to put the page number here. Yeah, page number here. Share, observe. It helps student, and then I copy exactly the words in the research. Yeah, so then I have to put the page here. You can put the page next to the year of publication here, or you can put like this one. Okay, that's the way you write your literature review. Do not write separately from one researcher to another. You have to synthesize the literature reviews and group the ideas. Group the ideas to see what is similarity between the researchers about this one. So like when you have a communicative yeah, communicative games applying in your teaching. Then you have the definition, okay? So and the times of games. So will have a different researchers categorize the games of your study, the games that they yeah, the types of games. So different researcher will categorize the games in different way. Okay, so you read and you find this one, this one, this one, and then you present it into a paragraph like this one. You see? Yeah, so talking about the types of game, different researchers categorize games in different way. So like the first one say the second one, the third one, but they have something in common. Yes, like this one. Okay, so just one piece of example. Yes, and in the previous week when we talk about APA 7, I give you some examples. Yes, how to write the citation. Okay, how to write a citation? You can start from the beginning. So according to or Lee observe. Okay, so you can start from the beginning, or you can put in the middle, or you can put it at the end of the paragraph like this one. Okay, so come back to APA 7, chapter APA 7, when we study previous week on the 15th, or on the 8th, yes, on the 9th, sorry, on the 9th of January, yes, we have this one. Okay, so it's about literature review, and remember that it is your final exam, yes, final exam. And today we are going to move to the next chapter, writing data commentaries. Yes. So what is it? Okay, so when you have your findings, you analyze the data. Yeah, you collect the data, and then you are going to analyze your data. And now is the time for you to present your research data and findings. Yes. So what is the best way to present your research data and findings? And how to present your research data and findings? Any ideas? That is chapter 4. Yeah, yes, chapter 4. That's the chapter 4 in your study. Of course, you haven't done your research yet. Yeah, you haven't done your research yet, so you don't know, you haven't got an idea how you are going to present your research data and findings, of course. Yeah, so the best way, the easiest way is to present. Yeah, some people may present your study, your research findings, yes, according to research questions. According to based on research questions, so comes from research question 1 to research question 2 and research question 3. That is one way. So you comes from each questions. Yeah, but some researchers, yes, also can present the data and research findings in terms of key ideas. Key ideas, or that's they call that the category. Yes. So that means they may have several categories, and then they are going to present it in terms of key or main categories. So that means they find out something, and then they are going to group the findings, group the finding into a category. Yeah, so the first one, the first big ideas. So the first important idea, and then the second important ideas. So they are going to present their research findings in this way. Yes, so I can see that most of you present based on your research questions. Yes, so from questions 1 to question 2 or question 3. Yeah, in whatever way you have to think, and it depends on your study. Okay, in the times of your research, and you need to consult with your supervisor. Okay. Yes. Yeah, because you haven't done. So I just talk about this one, but you have to learn because later you are going to do your research. Yes. Okay, so there are many. Uh, can you see? Yes or no? Hello, có nhìn thấy slide không các bạn?
Dạ
Yes,
có cô.
yes.
Yes,
Is
Miss.
it clear enough for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because I do not do a slideshow here. Yeah, so it will slow down if I show. So there are many useful ways to present your research data to editors, references, or referees or readers. Yes, and readers. So summarizing your data in a visual form. Yes, visual form including tables, figures like graph, pie, or bar chart can be very helpful. So most of you use these tools. Yes, I mean that you present in forms of tables, figures, and pie or bar chart. Yes, with your descriptive. Yes, and each allows you to present your result in a consolidated manner and help reader to get an overview of the most important findings of your work without having to go through the entire manuscript. Because sometimes, I mean that Mr. Tint, he likes tables and figures. So when he looks at your figure tables, he can identify. Okay, he's very good at identifying things from table. Yes. Okay, he just look at the table and then question. Yeah, questions, and then students sometimes have difficulties to answer the questions when looking at the table because sometimes you do not do the analysis, but you ask someone to do for you. Can we do that? Yes or no?
No,
I no.
no, we cannot do it.
Okay, actually, you do it by yourself is the best way. Is better, but in some studies, you are allowed to hire someone to analyze for you. But you have to understand. Okay, so analyze, but you have to understand what it means in each number, in each figure you presented in your study. Yes, but for master degree, we encourage you do it by yourself. If you use any software to analyze your data, you have to understand. Okay, you learn and you do it by yourself is the best way. Yes, do not ask anyone to analyze for you without understanding anything about this. It's very, I mean, that is not good. Yes. So you learn to do it by yourself. It's the best way. Yes. In case you can't, you can ask someone to do it for you, but you have to understand. Okay. Yes. So you can use these tools to present when you present your data table, and you have to ask a question: what I'm going to use to present my data, my findings. So why I use it? Okay, what and why? On the time, ask these questions. So yes, and tables and figures are particularly effective when large amounts of information have to be presented and discussed. Of course, it depends. You know, I told you already, it depends on the times of your study, yeah, of your research. Some people may use the quantitative, that means numbers with numbers. So the best way to present the data is using tables and figures. But some people just go with qualitative, you know, qualitative. So later you are going to study research methodology. Have you studied this one? Research methodology.
Yeah, I study it in my university.
Oh, okay, in your university, but now not yet, right?
Yes.
You still have a discourse. Yeah, research methodology. Yeah, so when you study, so the lecturer will talk in details about quantitative and qualitative. What is the difference between these two approaches? Yeah, these two approaches. You may have the mixed methodology. Okay, you may use the mixed method. That means both qualitative and quantitative. But some people just go with qualitative or quantitative. Yes. So table, and so it means that whatever in whatever ways you are going to present your findings, it depends on the times of your study. Okay, so I say it again, it depends on the times of your study. So you are going to choose to present your findings in whatever way that's suitable to your study, okay, appropriate to your study. So, but tables and figure, I can see that most of the students use this one. Particularly effective when large amounts of information have to be presented or and discussed. It's easier for you, yes, to look at the table and figures, and people also read uh, your findings easier. Yes. And the art of commentary is for you to find the right strength of claim in discussing the data, and then to order your statements in some appropriate way. Yeah, so you can read in chapter 7, chapter 5, 7. Let me see which chapter. 7. There's no chapter here. Chapter 3. Chapter 2. Yeah, unit 4. Yeah, so in that's in chapter 4, unit 4, data commentary. Share with you. Okay, let's stop this one. Yeah, Unit 4, Data Commentary. So please read in this chapter. Yes. So chapter on page 151. So Unit 4, Data Commentary. So when you do your research, yes, and after you analyze your data, then you come back to present your findings. So please read that this chapter, okay, later. Not so, but now I introduce to you, and we will learn something about this one so that you have an idea. But I am sure that when you are going to present your data, come back to this chapter and read it, yes, and decide how you are going to present your data, okay, because in this chapter it gives you a lot of information, useful information for you. So read this one in chapter 4, okay. Yeah, so the art of commentary is for you to find the right strength of claim. What is a claim we are going to talk about now? Discussing the data and then to order your statement in some appropriate way. Yes. Okay, and why do we use a data commentary? You know, you have to present your findings, okay? And what do we need to do in a data commentary? And what is the purpose of a data commentary? To make people understand the findings that your study. Yes. Okay. So purpose of data commentary. So you do this to present the result of your study, to highlight the important findings, to compare and evaluate different data sets, and to assess the reliability of data in terms of the method that produce it. Okay, so that means reading your findings. So like you use the table or the chart to present your findings. Yeah, so here when we look at your findings, so we can see that if the method you use here is appropriate or not. So that means the reliability of data in terms of the method that produce it. Yes, you understand this one? Yeah, when you write the research methodology, you have to, it depends on the times of a study. Then you may write about reliability and validity of your study. If anyone have studied already, I mean that at university, you learned about this one, of course, yes, reliability and validity, yes, of your study, of the research method, okay, that you use, how you guarantee it, yes, how it reliability and validity, yeah, guarantee the your studied, yes. So in research methodology you will have this term, yes, and reliability and validity as well. And you do data commentary to interpret the result of your study and to discuss the significance and implications of the result. Yes, so that's why we do the data commentary. Yes, present our result. Okay, that's the purpose. And then reading chapters 140, so swells and fig suggest 7 common purposes given by given. Yeah, so 7 common purposes of doing data commentary. So number 1, number 2, so highlight result of your study. Use the data to support a point or make an argument in your paper or in your study. Access theory, common belief, or general practice in light of the given data. Compare, evaluate different data sets. Assess the reliability, okay, discuss the implication of your data and make recommendations. That's why we need to present our data. Yes. Okay, so next one. So structure of data commentary. So data commentary usually have these elements in the following order. Location element and or summary statement. Highlighting statement, discussions of implications, problems, exceptions, recommendations, or other interesting aspects of the data. So that's the structure, yes. So data commentary. So now, yes, and paragraph structures of data commentary include topic sentence. So here we talk about, okay, location elements and or summary statement. So if you read in unit 4, then you can understand more about this one. Yeah, so paragraph, yes, a structure of data commentary include topic sentence. You learn about this already. So this is the claim, yes. Location elements and summaries. That's the supporting, okay. Highlights. It means that you give examples. Yes, example or statistics and implications. It means that like the conclusion, okay, restatement of claim. So claim, that is the topic here, you know. Yes, that's we talk about the structure of data commentary. You see what I mean? So it means that you also have to present your data in terms of in terms of key findings, okay, key ideas, or in terms of themes or categories. So that means the most important ideas. Yeah, so like you talk about what, okay, so if you talk about students' attitudes to pair work and group work, yeah, so you find something about attitudes of students about pair work and group work. And then you are going to present to your findings, yes, for the readers. So your attitudes of the headings is attitudes of students towards pair work and group work. And then you present your findings, yes. So, and you also write it in paragraphs, yes. So group the ideas and then present it in terms of the main ideas, yeah. So you also write a paragraph. Each paragraph begins with a topic sentence. So here we call the claim, okay. And then supporting ideas, and then examples, and then conclusion, okay. So now we are going to look at an example, yeah. So here, read this one. That's the way we, so 5 sentences here, and we still have another slide. I can't put it in one slide. So table 4, that's the location, you know, location statement, indicative summary. Yeah, so here, plus indicative summary. So table 4 shows survey respondents self-reported involvement in online misbehavior during the previous month. Okay, this is the first sentence. So location statement, table 4. That's the location. Yes. And according to the table, the most common online misbehavior is unauthorized downloading of film and music, as can be seen So here, highlighting statement, okay, in terms of a linking S clause. So S can be seen, okay, just over, and then this is the supporting, I mean the supporting for this one, yes. So explained and clarified, yes. Okay, so this is a highlighting. So you come back to this one. Yeah, so location statement, location elements and summary statements. And then highlighting statement. Yes, so this one, highlighting statement, as can be seen. Later, we are going to study the expressions that can use for highlighting, for presenting location like this one, location. Okay, next one. Yes, so another and continue of this one. So this is interpretations and implication. You can see that it's worth, yeah, so this part is worthwhile to note that these different forms of online misbehavior seems to be patterned according to the degrees of the perceived and so on. You read this paragraph, yes, these sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the interpretations and implications. Yes. So that means like similar to the conclusion, you know. Yes, conclusion and implication. So you come back to this one. Discussion, discussion of implications, problems, exception, recommendations, and other interesting aspects of the study. Yes. So it means that when you present your findings, you also present it in terms of paragraph, yes, and you one point from one point to another point. So start from a topic sentence for the first point. So we can count each point, the main point one, main point two, and each start with a paragraph and topic sentence, and like the paragraph we study already, yes. So the structure of paragraph, I think that you know very well. Okay, so that's the example you showed. So location statement, highlighting, and interpretations and implications. Next one. Yeah, so starting a data commentary. So location element, you can see that table 2 show, table 3 provides, figure 2 plot, figure 4.2 gives, yes, and this the summary. Summary, that means the main ideas, you know. So the point of computer viruses for U.S. businesses, details of fertilizer use. So this is a summary, the ideas. So table 2 show, provides, plot, or gives. Yes, just a few to give example. Okay. And location elements and summary here. You can have more in the book. This is one I take from the book. So many data commentary sections begin with a sentence containing a location element and a brief summary of what can be found in a visual display of information as shown in this example. Okay, show, provides, plot. Yes. So we have the pattern. Okay, how to present, how to start describing your findings. Okay, so follow this one, and later when you are going to present your data, you will use it. Yes. Next one, your summary location element with passive voice. We can use the active voice. So in you know, active voice or passive voice, I think that is okay. Yeah. Um, Let me see. So normally we can, yeah, so we can use both, yeah, active or passive. Yes. So the times of internet misbehavior common among university students are shown in table 4. Okay, in table 4. Or you can write it table 4 shows. Yes. Summary statistics for the variable used in the analysis are provided in table 5. So honeycomb solid oxide fuel cells unit with air cooling path is shown in figure 2. Wealth is, as a function of age is plotted in figure 1. So passive or active, yes. It depends on yeah, sometimes we use both, yes, but it also depends on the times of your study and the times of data, and it also depends on the researcher preferences as well. Yes, you like using the passive, then use it. Yes, but sometimes we use both. I think that you can use both. Yes. The use of verbs in is in present tense, and normally we use in present tense is shown, are provided, is shown or is plotted. So present tense we use in present tense as the author is talking about his or her present study. And in English, the active forms are just as appropriate, just as okay, appropriate as the passive. So you can use either one, depends on your preference. Yeah, is it okay? Any questions so far, class?
It's fine.
Okay, fine. And depending on what you are writing, you may want to focus more on some significance aspect of the data rather than merely generally pointing out what data is provided. You understand this one? Significant. So I mean that some people just uh for you can find, yeah, in your when you analyze you can find many things, but do not, yeah, sometimes we do not present on what we found. We just choose to present the most significant ones, the most important ones from our findings. Yeah, not all. So it depends on the purpose, based on your, depends on your purpose of your study and the research questions. Yes. And if you have a lot, some people, sometimes you can find a lot of things. Yeah, but we just choose to present the most important ones in our findings. Yes. So here, you may want to focus more on some significant aspect of the data, yeah, rather than merely generally pointing out what data is provided. Yeah, just choose. Yes. And this indication may be particularly important when you are using data to make a point. Yes. So, for example, if you want to argues that students are likely to engage in misbehavior on the internet regardless of how they access it, you could write this sentence. So table 5 shows that students engaged in misbehavior on the internet using both private and public computers. Yes, just write like yeah, yes, just choose to present. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And if your point is that wealth, yeah, so here this is example. Increase slowly with age, but decreases quickly. Yes, wealth increases and decreases quickly after reaching a peak. You could write this sentence. So this is just the way, an example. So figure 1 reveals that wealth is accumulated slowly, but sharply declines after age 65. Okay. And here we come to the verbs used in indicative and informative location statements. So indicative statements that summarizes what kind of research was done. So indicative summarizes, yes, what kind of research was done. So like table 4 shows the times of internet behavior common among university students. Okay, so summarize. Yeah, and how about informative? Yeah, you learned and you remember. Yes, informative statement that highlight something interesting about the data. So table 4 shows that illegal downloading of music or film is common among students. Okay, yeah, so we have a two types of statement, indicative and informative. Okay, yes. Location statement, in location statement. So now we are looking at this one. So in the book you have the task. So which verbs can be used to in indicative and which one used in informative. So show, provide, give, present, summarize, illustrate, reveal, indicate, display, demonstrate, and suggest. So now work with your friend, yes, and decide which one can be used in for indicative and informative statements. So which verbs? I give you 3 minutes. 5 minutes, okay, to talk to your friend. So the first two have done as example. Okay, so you read this one. Indicative statement that summarizes, yes, summarizes what kind of research was done and which verbs can be used to summarize it. And informative statement that highlights something interesting about the data, yes. So which verbs, yeah, can be used for informative statement? Okay, so which one? Yeah, so Nhi, Thanh Nhi.
Yes, miss.
Yeah, so which one you think that used for um, informative,
So I think
indicative, and
yes, miss. I think that some verbs that used for informative is show, provide, give, present.
show, provide
Yes.
no, show, give, yes,
Present,
present,
illustrate. Yes, illustrate.
illustrate, okay,
Review,
review, yes,
indicate.
indicate,
Yes.
yeah, and
Um, demonstrate and suggest.
suggest,
Yes,
okay,
miss.
and for indicative,
For for indicative, show, provide,
provide,
provide, present, summarize,
give as well,
give.
yes, present,
Yes, miss. Summarize,
summarize, what else?
display.
Displayed, yeah, so you can use displayed as well. Demonstrate,
Yes.
yeah, okay, not suggest, so suggest for this one. So any other ideas? Do you agree with me? Hương, how about you, Hương?
Uh, Yeah, in my opinion, I'm really sorry, but she said a lot and I forgot. So maybe I will just give you my answer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that the word give, it is indicative, um, and the present, the word present is both indicative and informative.
Uh-huh,
Next, we
yes,
have summarize is indicative. It is
yes,
only indicative.
yes, yes.
The word illustrate is both indicative and informative.
Mm-hmm.
The word review is only informative.
Yes, informative,
Yeah, and indicate
indicate,
indicate it is both indicative and informative.
okay.